जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Mai Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribol 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol Jayam Vishnupad Paramamsa Pariksit Stottar His Divine Grace Vaishnava Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramamsa Pariksit Stottar His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Ji Haridas Thakur ki Granthraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, Text number 17. Mantreshu Mam Va Upahua Yat Tvam Akunthita Khanda Sadatma Bodha Prichhe Prabho Mugda Iva Pramatas Tan No Mano Mohayitva Deva Mantreshu Mam Va Upahuya Yatvam Mantreshu Mam Va Upahuya Yatvam Akuntitha Khanda Sadatma Bodha Akuntitha Khanda Sadatma Bodha Priche Prabho Mugda Iva Pramatas Priche Prabho Mugda Iva Pramatas Tanno mano mohayati vadeva. No mano mohayati. Tanno mano mohayati vadeva. Mantreshu mam va upahooya yatvam. Akuntitha khanda sadatma bodha. Priche prabho mugda iva pramattas. Tano mano mohayati vadeva. Mantreshu mam va upahooya yatvam. Akuntita khanda sadatma bodha. Priche prabho mugda iva pramattas. Tano mano mohayati vadeva. Please chant. Mantreshu mam va. Somebody else chant. Mantreshu mam va upahooya yatvam. Akuntita khanda sadatma bodha. Priche prabho mugda iva pramattas. Tano mano mohayati vadeva. Madhajis? Okay. Please repeat after me. Mantreshu, in consultations. Mam, unto me. Vai, as either. Upahooya, by calling. Yat, as much as. Tvam, your lordship. Akunthita, without hesitation. Akhanda, without being separated. Sada, eternally. Atma, self. Bodha, intelligent. Priche, asked. Prabho, O my Lord. Mugdaha, bewildered. Iva, as if it were so. Apramataha, although never bewildered. Tat, that. Naha, our. Manaha, mind. Mohayati, bewilders. Eva, as it is so. Deva, O my Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. O my Lord, your eternal self is never divided by the influence of time, and there is no limitation to your perfect knowledge. Thus you were sufficiently able to consult with yourself, yet you called upon me for consultation, as if bewildered, although you are never bewildered. And this act of yours bewilders me. Purport. Uddhava was never actually bewildered, but he says that all these contradictions appear to be bewildering. The whole discussion between Krishna and Uddhava was meant for the benefit of Maitreya, who was sitting nearby. The Lord used to call Uddhava for consultation when the city was attacked by Jarasandha and others, and when he executed great sacrifices as part of his routine royal work as the Lord of Dwarka. The Lord has no past, present and future because he is unhampered by the influence of eternal time, and thus nothing is hidden from him. He is eternally self-intelligent. Therefore, his calling for Uddhava to give him enlightenment is certainly astonishing. All these actions of the Lord appear to be contradictory, although there is no contradiction in the routine activities of the Lord. Therefore, it is better to see them as they are and not attempt to explain them. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, the theme in this particular verse is the Lord's loving humility and the sweet contradictions of Bhagavan. We are seeing that the speaker is Uddhava, Vidura is listening, Maitreya is a witness. Because Krishna is concluding his manifest pastimes and Uddhava is remembering special intimate exchanges that he had with the Lord. Now, in this verse, we see that Uddhava is recollecting how the Lord called him for consultation. And there is astonishment that Uddhava is expressing. Loving astonishment. That how Krishna is... Astonishment means, you are surprised. But this is a positive. It's a loving surprise. Because Uddhava feels that Lord is omniscient, He is omnipresent, He is self-sufficient. He doesn't need any advice from anyone. But he is calling him as if he needs consultation. So that bewilders Uddhava. That's what he says. The paradox in this verse or in this statement of Uddhava is that the Lord, who is omniscient, is behaving as if he is dependent on the devotee. Independent Lord is behaving as if he is dependent. So, like this word is there, akuntitha. Akuntitha, it means unobstructed. Akhanda is undivided, and Sadatma Bodha means eternally self-aware. So Krishna is not forgetful. In the Gita he says that, Arjuna, many births you took, many births I took, I remember them all, you don't remember them. He has proved his omniscience, he has proved prior. Krishna doesn't need to enroll for any course, or he doesn't need to learn. The pastime that he performed in Sandipani Muni's Gurukul, 64 days he learned 64 arts. This is impossible for anyone to do. Even our ISKCON devotees have been trying to research on the 64 arts, but we haven't even got to 5% of actually being able to accomplish them. Krishna learned them in one day each art. 64 days of Gurukul, that's it. That is his schooling. Very extraordinary. Krishna doesn't need an external source of knowledge. Vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krit veda videva chaham. Not dependence. Krishna is not dependent on anyone. Because this is unlike us who learn by our senses. The Gyan Indriyas are their knowledge acquiring senses. We learn through them. We have to consult others. Right? In management also, in decision making, there are different models. One model is 3-person model, meaning if you are not sure about something, you ask 3 people. Consult and take an average of that and then you go like that. They say even while asking directions on the road, you can ask 3 people. Who knows, somebody may just direct you in the wrong direction. So you ask 3 people. So we consult because we don't know, we are not sure. We are limited by time also. But Krishna, he knows past, he's Trikalagya, he knows past, present and future. Krishna knows that. His consciousness is absolute consciousness, he doesn't need any consultation. He doesn't need to ask. He doesn't need to be sure. Still he is consulting Uddhava. Why? So of course this is Leela, it is not out of necessity. Because Krishna, the Lord, doesn't act out of lack. He acts out of love. He calls Uddhava to glorify Uddhava, to increase the intimacy. Because ultimately Rasraj Krishna wants to exchange rasa. And through that he wants to teach the world also. Not because he needs help. So this is a very sweet contradiction that exists in the personality of Krishna, which is achintya. Why is it achintya? Prabhupada writes in the last line of this purport, he says, these contradictions, better to see them as they are and not attempt to explain them. Prabhupada says, don't try to explain. He says like that. So this is achintya bheda bhed tattva, that this all-powerful Lord is also dependent on the devotees. What are examples? Yashoda binding him, Arjuna Krishna becoming Arjuna's charioteer, and Uddhava becoming his advisor. It's in the same mood. So here we find how the Lord becomes subordinate to bhakti. Because Krishna, he less enjoys being worshipped. He enjoys being loved more. He prefers a friend, a servant, a parent, he prefers an advisor over distant reverence. This is how Krishna's personality is. So thus, Krishna acts as if, this word is used, mugdha iva, as if he is bewildered. Bewildered. So this is as if, it is not he is bewildered, he is as if bewildered, because it is not ignorance, but it is like a playfulness, divine playfulness. We become bewildered, like Arjuna, he becomes bewildered, he didn't know what to do. So he surrenders to Krishna. But Krishna, when he is acting bewildered, so Uddhava understands that, and so he says, that bewilders me. Your acting bewilders me. He says like that. So of course, Uddhava's mood when he says that he is being bewildered is not that of confusion. Uddhava is not confused like how Arjuna was confused. Uddhava's feeling is that of loving astonishment. He feels astonishment is a wonder. And loving is because sometimes our very close people also, they surprise us. So he's taken off like that. It's loving astonishment. He thinks, how can my Lord act like this? Why is he giving me so much importance? Because real devotees, they think I am unqualified, still the Lord is calling me. This is the psychology of bhakti. Now the hidden teaching is there in the purport. Why is Krishna calling Uddhava for consultation? This whole discussion is actually for the benefit of Maitreya. See how the devotees and the Lord, they act. Because the Lord's intimate dealings, they are serving third parties. Some other person is there. To instruct that person, the Lord is acting in a certain way. Even the most personal exchanges of the Lord are meant for the instruction of the world. So Krishna, he teaches not only through Bhagavad Gita lecture, he also teaches through relationships. Now let's see some practical application of this pastime and this verse. That one understands that we cannot reduce God to logic. Krishna is not predictable. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. No, it doesn't work like that. And from Uddhava we understand that how a service attitude one keeps. A devotee means he keeps a service attitude. He feels unqualified. He still serves. Krishna has called him for consultation. He doesn't say, Bhagwan hai, unko kya zarurat hai. He still does the service. And he sees that service as mercy, not as entitlement. That I am heading this thing in Dwarka. Even if Krishna is God, he is playing the role of Dwarkadish, so he has to call me. That's entitlement. Ye to hona hi chahiye. But what is his mood? His mood is that Krishna doesn't need us, he doesn't need me, he is inviting me. So this invitation is mercy. This is Krishna's causeless mercy. This is how Uddhava takes it. So, this is practically relevant for us. Just like Krishna involves Uddhava in his work, Krishna also involves devotees in his mission. Like we should think, I am insignificant, but Krishna says, come help me. This is the same principle here. That whatever service we are doing, we should think of it as participation in Krishna's plan. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need. He is Atmaram. He is self-sufficient. But our service, what happens? This is participation in Krishna's plan. This is just like Uddhava is consulting, Krishna is consulting Uddhava. So in the same way, Krishna is inviting us to consult in his mission. So this is mercy. This is all. This is when sometimes we say, please give your mercy. We use this term so much, mercy. This is mercy. Krishna is allowing us an opportunity to participate in association of him and his associates, close associates. That is mercy. So therefore, when we take everything like this, that this is opportunity is mercy, then how will we have pride? Shri Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya ki. The reason why one person develops pride is because one starts thinking, I am very good at this. I am better than everyone else. Is there anyone who can do like me? Once in Gurukul we had one boy who used to play very good mridanga. He was a young boy. He was playing very good mridanga. So there was a new mridanga teacher who came. This boy was very young, 8 years old, something like that. So he was playing very good mridanga. He had a good hand, basically. So the new teacher, now this boy, the old teacher used to say that he has very good potential. He's very good. So this boy had it in his mind. So then the new teacher, when he came, this boy wanted to impress that new teacher. So he was playing something very fancy, and the teacher also got impressed, but he understood his mood also. So then then other boys were saying that they were telling the teacher that Mushai, he is the best mridanga player. And so like that they were telling. Then during Prasadam time, those boys, they told us, the teachers, that I was asking them, so how was that experience with the new Mridanga teacher? So it was good, and then we were telling that this boy is very good Mridanga player and like that. That boy, when he heard that, he said, he didn't know that. The boy, when he heard this conversation, he reacted. He didn't know. What he didn't know? That I am the best Mridanga player. He didn't know. He acted as if he's surprised that ये तो सबको मालूम है ना कि मैं हूँ. Then we said 2 months you are not playing mridanga. Go and wash the pots. This is how how subtle pride develops. That I am better than everyone else. But when we take everything as the Lord's mercy, when we take the mission as an opportunity where we are not needed, but the Lord is inviting us, just like how Uddhava, what Krishna needs Uddhava's consultation. Krishna called Uddhava many times. He called him when Jarasandha is attacking. That time Krishna calls him. Kya karna chahiye? Why does Krishna need to call him? Anyways, he is going to create Dwarka. So this is participation. He likes loving exchanges. Rasa. So then where is the question of pride? So see how Uddhava is feeling. He is feeling grateful that he is being given an opportunity. So when we take it like this, when we take spiritual life in this manner, that I am not needed, but if I give, then it's good for me. And this humility, insignificance is humility, that Krishna is giving me an opportunity. So then where is the question of pride? You will see that a lot of issues in our life get sorted just because of this mentality. The anger, the expectation, just by keeping a service attitude, we find that a lot of problems, mental problems, get sorted. That's why it's always important for sadhakas to reflect always and be grateful for whatever they have received. That is the way to live in this world peacefully. It is not only for sadhakas, it is for everyone else in general. They say one who is not grateful is a great fool. So why? Because when we look at our relative position, when we compare ourselves with many others who don't have opportunity, then we realize, अरे मेरे पास तो ये है, I have this, I have that. Today we are peacefully able to discuss Krishna Katha. Is that not a great opportunity? Because many people, even wanting to do that, are not getting that time and opportunity. So like this, there are so many things which we can be grateful for. And the more we remain in this consciousness, the more it is easy for us to reciprocate this gratitude with our seniors who are representatives of the parampara, who are allowing us to perform service and who are taking service from us. It's very easy for us to reciprocate with them. And you will find that then life becomes very peaceful. So it's a very practical thing to be grateful. Coming back to the verse. So Yashoda binding Krishna. That how is it possible? There are some contradictions. So we will discuss some contradictions in this, just like there is contradiction here. Uddhava's consultation is a contradiction. Yashoda binding Krishna is also a very big contradiction. Because how is it that the Supreme Controller is bound by a rope? How can the infinite be bound? The very definition of infinite means that which cannot be counted. How can that? And for binding, you are putting a restriction on something. That means that you are putting some kind of finite. You are making it finite. So yet Krishna's mother's affection binds him. This is Krishna's voluntary submission to bhakti. So in the Gita also he says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu. And then he also says, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mahi teteshu chapyaham. He says, although I am equal to all, I am especially close to my devotees. This is the reason why Uddhava is getting special intimacy. Uddhava is being called because he is getting special intimacy. Why? Because this is not favoritism. It's not that Krishna wants something from Uddhava. So no, it is a reciprocation of love. Uddhava loves him so much, so then Krishna calls him. Because Krishna says in 9th canto, he says, Aham bhakta paradhino, hi asvatantra iva dvija. I am not independent, he says. He declares. Aham bhakta paradhino, I am subordinate, I am dependent on my devotees. This verse is actually like a direct commentary on this verse that we are reading. Aham bhakta paradhino. That how Krishna becomes submissive. Voluntarily, he submits himself to his devotees. And then the devotees become instruments also. Like in the Gita, he says, Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Become an instrument in the fight, O Arjuna. So just like Krishna doesn't need Arjuna to have the battle of Kurukshetra in his favor. He doesn't need. The Lord comes for establishing dharma. To establish dharma, he doesn't need Arjuna. Arjuna is a devotee who chooses Krishna. When Krishna comes in front of Arjuna and Duryodhan, Arjuna chooses Krishna. And then out of reciprocal love, when Arjuna is asking, please be my charioteer, he agrees. And then he makes Arjuna in the fight. He makes Arjuna an instrument in the fight. So, Arjuna becomes an instrument in the war. Likewise, here we see Uddhava becomes an instrument in counsel. So practically in life also we will find that when we develop, ours is a personal movement. If we understand the mood of the representatives of Krishna who are acting in our life in some or the other way, and develop a service attitude towards them in the sense that we say, I am here to help, what I can do. And we are thinking what the authority is thinking. If we are able to do that, then we will be able to we'll be able to assist them in some way. Take some load off. Take some service responsibility. When we do that, then what happens from within the heart, you receive special blessings. That's how we advance. We receive blessings. It is not that we are only advancing through the efforts that one makes in sadhana. Sadhana, we are endeavoring. So that is an endeavor for self-purification. That is a conscious endeavor for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. But the advancement happens because of blessings of Vaishnavas. So how important is our personal relationships that cannot be overemphasized. So the conclusion of this particular theme is that Krishna is unlimited, he is independent, he is self-sufficient, but still he chooses to say, I need you, come help me. So this invitation is bhakti. And responding to this call of Krishna is actually the perfection of life, like Uddhava does. So these Lord's divine contradictions, which are called Virodhabhas Lila, in which the Siddhanta is that Krishna is Swatantra, is completely independent, but he becomes completely dependent on his devotees. So how are these contradictions existing in the same person? They are not logical defects, they are not Maya, but they are expansions or expressions of prema. Example, butter thief. Makhan Chor Krishna is the maintainer of everyone. Here we have Makhan Chor. How is it that the maintainer of all becomes a thief? Thief means a person who doesn't have something, so he steals. He is feeding the entire universe, still he is stealing the butter from gopis' homes. So actually he is not stealing butter, he is stealing hearts. The maintainer of millions is begging from village ladies. Running in the fear of Ma Yashoda, Yad Bhibeti Swayam Bhayam, Krishna is, fear personified is afraid of Krishna. But he is running. Because Ma Yashoda has a stick in her hand, wanting to catch him. Everyone fears Kala. Time and Kala fears Krishna. But Krishna is fearing his mother. So this is actually not fear, it is prema bhai. Just like he acts bewildered before Uddhava, he acts frightened before Yashoda. Krishna becomes an errand boy, he becomes a messenger for the Pandavas. You know who becomes a messenger? It's like some junior person is there, we tell, thoda udhar bol ke aana na. It's like that. So he becomes like that because there is you see, when a person becomes a messenger, when you take a subordinate position, there is a big risk of being insulted. You can be completely brushed off also. It's always like that. Subordinate, when we take a position, your self-respect can be damaged. Ego is smashed already. You have already given up ego because you took a subordinate position. Now you go and do the service, your self-respect can also be finished. That much risk is there. But Krishna, he agrees, he does that, and he goes to the Kuru Sabha to put Pandav's Paksh. Because for him, the seva, Bhakta Seva is more important than prestige. Bhakta Seva is more important. This is Krishna's personality. For him, ego, his own personality's ego, is not as important as it is to serve his devotees. This is Krishna as a person. Another example we find is washing Sudama's feet. A Lakshmipati is serving a poor Brahmana. The contradiction is that goddess Lakshmi serves Krishna, but personally he is washing Sudama's feet when Sudama comes in his home. So thus we understand that bhakti is greater than wealth also. Because Krishna is becoming the servant of his devotee. Another contradiction, Virodhabhas Lila, is when Krishna calls the gopis in the night, middle of the night he calls them, the Ras Lila dialogues, 10th canto. He says that, so all they come, then he says, why have you come at night? He says like that. He is omniscient, he knows everything, he has called them, with his flute he has called them. Then he is asking, why have you come? He knows their hearts fully. So this is dramatic play, this is Leela. Even accepting the Brahmana's curse, like Bhrigu Muni's curse. Krishna accepts Bhrigu Muni's curse. When Bhrigu came and he performed the test, so then he put his foot on Lord Vishnu's chest. And then these are curses. Even the Brahmana who there are, even Gandhari cursed Krishna. He tolerates without retaliation. Without retaliation, Krishna is tolerating. He is not demanding respect. So Krishna is also humble, we find. So thus we see in Virodhabhas that Krishna is omniscient, yet he asks for advice. He is fearless, but he runs from his mother. He is the maintainer, but still he steals butter. He is the supreme master, but he acts like a servant. He is independent, but he acts dependent. He is infinite, but he still acts like a child. So these are not contradictions, they are actually prem vilas. They are play of love. Because through logic we can understand how great Krishna is. That is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first two cantos, especially second canto, when you find Virat Purusha and you will find the details of the universal form of the Lord, you will find how great Krishna is. We start to learn to see Krishna's greatness, how great the Lord is. But these kind of contradictions, so through logic we can understand God is great, but these kind of contradictions in his personality, they prove that God is lovable. It is like Aishwarya. Aishwarya makes us revere him, but Madhurya makes us run after him. Srila Jiva Goswami mentions in the Dam Bandhan Leela, which is the Damodar Leela, that how Krishna can be God. Because such a contradiction in this pastime, that Param Brahma, Krishna, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, he should not have many qualities that he exhibited in the Damodar Leela. He should not be having. Because he is Aptakam, he is Nitya Tripta. It means he is eternally self-satisfied. Krishna doesn't need anything. But still he is hungry for Maya Yashoda's milk. He is crying. He comes to her. Milk. He wakes up and he is asking for milk. He is Lakshmipati. He is not supposed to steal. But here he is stealing butter. He is not supposed to be afraid, but he is afraid of his mother. Being Ananda Punja, another quality of Krishna is Ananda Punja, full of bliss. He is full of bliss. He is not supposed to cry with sadness, but he is doing. As Mayadhish, the one who controls Maya, he binds every living entity within the rope of Maya. But he is bound. So in this pastime we see all these qualities Krishna exhibits. He feels hungry, he is dissatisfied, he is angry. He stole, he was afraid, he ran away. He was caught by his mother, he was scolded by her. He cried and he eventually was bound by his mother. So how do we reconcile that Atma Tripta, Atma Ram, Shuddha Sattva, that Supreme Lord has exhibited such hunger, dissatisfaction, anger? How we can reconcile? So Jiva Goswami says that the quality of mercy towards Krishna has another quality that is called Bhakta Anugraha. This quality of Krishna is his greatest quality, which is his quality to be merciful to the devotees. Srila Sukadeva Goswami says in 6th canto, he says, Yatha tvam kripaya bhutya tejasa mahimaujasa jushta isha gune sarves tatosi bhagavan prabhu. Oh my Lord, because you are endowed with causeless mercy, first quality he says, causeless mercy you are having. Tvam kripaya bhutaya. All opulence, all prowess, all glory, strength and transcendental qualities. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of everyone. So the first qualification Sukadeva Goswami gives, that why is Krishna God? He says, because you have causeless mercy. Kripaya bhutya, you have special. This is Bhakta Anugraha, that is that quality of Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says in this commentary to this particular verse, he says that you are being served by the Kripa Shakti, you are eagerly awaiting to get a tulsi leaf from a devotee. You ask your devotee, today I am very hungry, please give me something to eat. So how does he show this bhaktanugraha? So as Krishna says in the Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyate tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. As you surrender unto me, so I shall reward. So as much as the devotee's surrender is, he reciprocates in the same way. If the devotion of the devotee is completely causeless, without any designation, then it has the power to control Krishna. And then Krishna is bound to reciprocate with this devotee to the degree of love that the devotee has exhibited. Now, by this, his greatness or opulence is not reduced in any way. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, the Lord mentions, Mora Putra, Mora Shakha, Mora Pranapati, E Bhave, Ye More Kare Shuddha Bhakti, Apana Ke Bada Mane, Amare Shamahina, She Bhave Hayami, Tahara Adhina. If one cherishes pure devotion to me, thinking of me as his son, friend or beloved, regarding himself as great, and considering me his equal or inferior, I become subordinate to him. Actually, even in Kunti Maharani's prayers, she says, in the similar theme, she says, Gopya dade dvai kritagasi dam tavad yate dashashru kalijanjana sambhramaksham vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya sama vimohayati bhirapi yad vibeti. O Krishna, Yashoda, she took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. Ma Yashoda puts mascara on Krishna's eyes. That washed. Although you were afraid, fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. You know, when the mascara is washed away, then the black tears come, because it's with the... So that she is seeing. Kunti Maharani is seeing that. And she says, this is bewildering to me. So if it was not the Lord's genuine mood, just acting, if this is only acting, then why will Kunti Maharani be so bewildered that she mentions it in her prayers? Sukadeva Goswami, he says that this is the extent of Krishna's bhritya vashyata, how much he is controlled by the devotee, which is accepting the ropes binding his belly. This is only found in Braja, nowhere else. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that due to this prem vashayata nature, this binding is very powerful. And this quality, this is not a fault in Krishna, it is a quality. It's like an ornament. Krishna, by his own nature, he becomes perplexed, he becomes hungry, because even though he is Atmaram. He becomes dissatisfied even though he is Aptakam. He steals even though he is the Lakshmi of, the husband of Lakshmi in Vaikuntha. So this is his mood of Bhakta Vashyata. It's not imitation or pretending. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives a conclusion in his book Madhura Kadambini. He says that even though, if Krishna is Parabrahma, still he exhibits some qualities which are not like Parabrahma. Seeing the devotee yearning, the devotee is yearning for relishing the Saundarya and other sweet qualities of Krishna all at once. Helplessly, like a chataka bird trying to catch every raindrop in its beak. The Lord thinks, why should I keep all these qualities to myself? This is what Krishna thinks. Why should I keep all these qualities to myself? Let the devotee take them all. So then, he exhibits his seventh Madhurya, which is Karunya. Karunya, compassion, which is superintendent of the Lord's all Shaktis. So, it is like Krishna's 8 petals, his main energies. Vimala, Utkarshini, Jnana, Kriya, Yoga, Prahavi, Satya and Ishani. These are 7, and 8th one is Karunya, which is Anugraha or kindness or favor. This manifests in the eyes of the Lord. In the eyes of Krishna, this Shakti comes. To his devotees, in the mood of a servant, it is Kripa Shakti. To other devotees, it is Vatsalya or sometimes even Karunya. So, this Kripa Shakti, it influences the heart, it causes great astonishment even in Atmarams, those who are Atmaram. So this Kripa Shakti, it invites this special quality of Bhakta Vatsalyata to rule as the emperor over all the other auspicious qualities that are present in the personality of the Lord. So in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, these qualities are mentioned. What qualities Krishna has? Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Shantis, Tyagah, Santosha, Arjavam, Shamodamastapa, Samyam, Titoksha, Pariti, Shrutam, Jnanam, Viraktim, Aishwaryam, Shauryam, Tejo, Balam, Smritihi, Swatantriyam, Kaushalam, Kshantir, Dhairyam, Mardavam, Evacha, Pragalbhyam, Prasrayah, Shilam, Saha Ojo, Balam, Bhaga, Gambhiryam, Sthairyam, Astikyam, Kirtirmano, Nahankritihi, Ete Chanecha, Bhagavan, Nitya Yatra, Mahagune, Prarthya Mahatvatvam Ichhadbhir, Na Vyanti Smakarichid. So Bhagavatam, first canto, 16th chapter, 26 to 29th verses, talk about Krishna's qualities. In Krishna are truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of another's unhappiness. Krishna is not happy when he sees somebody else unhappy. The power to control anger is a quality that Krishna possesses. Self-satisfaction, straightforwardness is also there in him. Steadiness of mind, control of the sense organs, responsibility is there in Krishna. Equality is there in Krishna. Tolerance is there in Krishna. Equanimity, faithfulness, knowledge, absence of sense enjoyment, leadership, chivalry, influence, the power to make everything possible. That is also a quality. 20th, discharge of proper duty. 21, complete independence. Dexterity. Dexterity means, with his hands, with his body, he can perform very amazing tasks. That's a person who's dexterous. Fullness of all beauty. Serenity. Serenity is another word for peacefulness. Kind-heartedness. Krishna is very kind-hearted. Ingenuity. Gentility is very gentle. Magnanimity, magnanimous. Determination. Krishna is very determined also. Perfection in all knowledge. Proper execution. It doesn't do half-hearted or things improperly. Proper execution. Possession of all objects of enjoyment. Krishna has possession of all objects of enjoyment. Joyfulness. He is very joyful. Immovability. He cannot move. He can also become sthira. Fidelity. That means Krishna is loyal also. Fame. Yes. Worship. Pridelessness. Being the Supreme Lord. Eternity. So these are the qualities that the Bhagavatam mentions. They are eternally present in Krishna and never to be separated from him. The Shastras also mention 18 principal faults that are never present in the Lord. 18 faults that cannot happen, that cannot be present in the Lord. Which are they? Illusion. All of these 18 are present in us. Illusion, then there is laziness, error, making mistakes, cruelty, intense lust, fickleness, arrogance, envy, not present in Krishna, violence, sorrow, never sorrowful. Krishna is never sorrowful. Fatigue, dishonesty, not dishonest. Anger, not present. Longing, it's not longing. Fear, confusion, partiality, and even dependency on others. So he cannot have these qualities. So even though they are absent in the Lord, at the request of Bhakta Vatsalyata, they become present at times in various avatars. They become present. And by the influence of Bhakta Vatsalyata, these faults are now appreciated by the devotees as excellent qualities. How amazing. Likewise, we also see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also exhibiting this kind of Virodhabhas Leela. Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna nahi anya. He is himself Radha and Krishna. He is himself Krishna. And he is crying out, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Is that not a contradiction? Krishna crying for Krishna. Of course, this is not ignorance, it is Radha Bhav. Because Mahaprabhu is Krishna coming to taste his own devotee, like he becomes his own devotee to taste devotion. He is questioning Ramanand Rai when he is in South India tour. Speak more, go deeper, like a student. What Mahaprabhu doesn't know, but he is asking Ramanand Rai. Why? He is not learning. He is drawing out rasa, he is glorifying Ramanand Rai. Because Krishna, Mahaprabhu enjoys hearing from his bhakta. Another contradiction we find, Mahaprabhu takes sannyas. He owns everything, but still he takes sannyas. He is Vaikuntanath, he is Vaikunt Pati, owner of Vaikuntha, husband of Lakshmi Devi. Still he is accepting poverty and he is begging. Becomes a homeless monk dependent on alms. This is Mahaprabhu. He renounces everything to give himself to all the conditioned souls. Mahaprabhu becomes the sweeper to teach humility. We see that in Gundicha Marjan Leela. How he takes a broom and he is cleaning, setting an example for everyone. He defeats the greatest scholar, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then he accepts defeat. So he exposes all the flaws in Vedanta explanations. He reveals divine knowledge. Still Mahaprabhu says he behaves, I am simple, I am submissive, I am a fool. Murkha ami. He says, my guru has told me, Tumar nahi Vedanta adhikar. You cannot understand Vedanta. He has already defeated Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So this way we find that there is Virodhabhas even in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. This is Bhakta Vatsalyata. We actually find even contradictions in Srila Prabhupada like this, that how the world Acharya is Jagat Guru, savior of the whole world, but he is still cooking and washing pots for his disciples. Doesn't need to do that. He is worshipped by thousands, but Srila Prabhupada, he personally cooked, cleaned vessels, washed utensils. He never said, I want to be served, but he was serving. He was always serving. Srila Prabhupada has absolute faith, but he is still helpless, as in America, when he is on board the Jaladuta. Srila Prabhupada is empowered by Krishna and Guru to save the world. He is already, but yet he is 70 years old. He has no money, no contacts, 2 heart attacks, he is alone. Externally he is powerless, internally he is fully empowered. Because his real strength was dependence on Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was commanding a global movement. Still he was asking for devotees' opinions. Like in GBC meetings, taking temple decisions, he used to ask, what do you think? Consultation. Because love means it invites participation. Please join. Srila Prabhupada, he could have lived comfortably, but he chose extreme austerity. Constant traveling, minimal sleep and writing at night. If you see in the 1970s, when ISKCON took shape, he could have also lessened his travel, could have gone slow, but constant traveling, minimum sleep and writing at night. He had thousands to serve him, yet he used to sleep only for 2 to 3 hours, translating whole night and traveling continuously. And when the time came for credit, he said, all my Guru Maharaj's mercy. Krishna is doing everything. So he built a worldwide movement but claimed zero ownership. Thus we find such amazing, outstanding qualities in the person of Srila Prabhupada also. Tomorrow is the auspicious appearance day or disappearance day. What is it? Of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Appearance. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, also a very extraordinary personality who established 64 Gaudiya Maths, 63 in India one was in Myanmar. So 64 Gaudiya Maths he in Rangoon he established, 64th one. So 64 Gaudiya Maths he established 100 years ago, when there was practically very difficult to communicate. No WhatsApp, even no telephone, no telegram, only letters. India was not even free from British rule. That is when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he established the Gaudiya Math and was a revolutionary when it came to preaching. Subhash Chandra Bose also came to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur understanding that the entire intelligentsia of the country are serving in Gaudiya Maths. He understood most intelligent people in the country are serving in Gaudiya Maths. So he came to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asking for men to help in his army. You know, he had army, Subhash Chandra Bose. So he came to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then, so what did Bhaktisiddhanta say? Subhash Chandra Bose told him, I know that all the intelligentsia of the country are in your mathas. Most intelligent people means they will be dedicated for a cause. What is intelligence? Even from a material perspective. Spiritual perspective, so we know, those who are trying to advance in Krishna consciousness, they are buddhiman. But even materially speaking, those who go above, even in Maslow's hierarchy table, he says that those who are beyond this roti kapada makan, those who are actually moving towards higher cause in life, not only that's why most modern day people are fools actually, as Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, 99% they are mudhas, fools. Why? Because they are only accumulating that which they cannot even keep. Everybody is trying to just keep increasing bank balance. It's foolish. Even from material perspective, intelligence means somebody who is doing something of a higher purpose, higher cause. So from that perspective, Subhash Chandra Bose understood that the people who are intelligent, who are surrendered to a higher cause and who are educated, they are all serving in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mathas. So he came to him asking, give me some men. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur replied, he said that, do you know Bhagavad Gita? Have you read? He says, yes, I have read Bhagavad Gita. He says, do you know this verse, Antakalecha Mameva? He says, yes, I have read this. So what does it mean? Bhaktisiddhanta asked him, what does it mean? If you want people for this army and you are going to fight against the Britishers, if they are going to think about the Britishers at the time of death and die, what happens to them? So Subhash Chandra Bose understood this. He didn't reply. He knew. Because the answer was what? They will become Britishers the next life. So how was Subhash Chandra Bose contributing to, when he took men from Siddhanta Saraswati's Matha, how was he contributing to actual independence? He was not even contributing because he is increasing Britishers. Because next life they will be born as Britishers. So what is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati say? He understood, he is not replying. So he said, look at these men, they are all thin, feeble. Tapasya, they do so much vratas, devotees, so all thin people. What they will be helpful to you, they will not be able to fight. Let them go. Leave these boys. So Subhash Chandra Bose, he never came back after that. He understood that he was defeated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, Prana chayar se hetu prachar. Whoever who has life, anyone who has life, he can preach, he says. Sometimes sitting on the top of the terrace. So he has in Bagh Bazaar Gaudiya Math, and even if you see in Chaitanya Math at Mayapur, he used to sit up, he used to walk chanting japa on top of the terrace. So that time Chaitanya Math at Mayapur, that used to be frequented by so many people. It was mentioned there are 500 inmates, 500 residents at that time, at one point in time. 500 ashram vasis inside. So much it was vibrant at one point of time when Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was there. Bhaktisiddhanta, he never shied away from a preaching opportunity. So sometimes sitting on the terrace, somebody used to walk in the night, he used to walk around. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he used to ask them loudly. He's not seen, he's not at the end of the terrace, he's not at the balcony. He's just saying, who is it? He used to say like this, who is it? And the person, he used to suddenly say, Kidhar se awaaz aaya? And then he used to reply back that it is so and so, I am so and so. Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, where are you going? So he used to reply. And then Bhaktisiddhanta used to connect it to spiritual life. And then he used to preach to him there. There and there he used to speak to strangers like this and preach to them. Thus setting an example that anyone who has life, he can preach. So that is the mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He was a fiery preacher, fiery man. Mayavadis used to, when they used to see him walking on the street, they used to cross the road and go the other way, so as to not confront him, not to face him. So Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was such an extraordinary acharya that Bhakti Vinod Thakur's time, there was one disciple of Bhakti Vinod Thakur who asked him that let us do some preaching as Bhakti Vinod Thakur would have wanted. Let us start an organization and let us start preaching. I will do all the documentation work. This Babu was an important man sitting in Calcutta. He had influence with the Britishers also. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, who am I to preach? Let me just chant the names of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He goes to Navadvip. He goes to Mayapur. And there he took a vow to chant the names of the Lord. And then he's incessantly chanting. He didn't even used to repair the hut. The hut there was a hole and rainwater was percolating in. But instead of wasting time, he used to put an umbrella on top. He used to just carry an umbrella like this, hold an umbrella so that the water will go down, it will not fall on him, instead of wasting time to repair the roof. That's how Bhaktisiddhanta was. He's taken a vow of chanting, he was doing it incessantly. One time, the Panchatattva came in his dream. The Panchatattva come in his dream and tell him that what are you doing in Mayapur? You should go out and preach. And Bhaktisiddhanta replies to them in his dream. He tells him, I am not a good collector. I cannot collect so much. I cannot manage temples. Don't worry, we will send everything. And then that's when he got inspired. And then he took the photo of his Guru Maharaj and he gives himself sannyas, which is an extraordinary activity for anyone to do. He takes sannyas himself. And then he goes to Calcutta and he knocks at the door of that disciple of Bhakti Vinod Thakur who had told him, let's register the society. In the middle of the night he goes and he knocks at his door and he tells him, let's do the registration. We shall call our society Gaudiya Math. Such a change that came in his personality. Then they start Bhakti Vinod Asan, which now is in the possession of ISKCON at Calcutta. That was a rented place, first rented place of the Gaudiya Math, first preaching headquarters. Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati 1922 on the rooftop of that Bhakti Vinod Asan, of that place. So what an extraordinary preacher and extraordinary acharya Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was. And he wanted that the preaching of Krishna consciousness spread far and wide, which was done by his dear disciple Srila Prabhupada, our A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He fulfilled his order the way Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had dreamt. He wanted the Gaudiya Math to do. But Srila Prabhupada, he mentions many times, he said that because the Gaudiya Math did not follow that instruction of constituting the GBC, the individual acharyas, they took up the positions and then they began fighting amongst themselves. So they could, because of not being able to follow that instruction, the Gaudiya Math could not prove to be effective in fulfilling the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which Srila Prabhupada took up. So tomorrow is the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and we can pray to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for strength and intelligence and to become an instrument in his mission. Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
श्रीयुता पदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,